Students, so we're going to do this game together. This is an ordering game and it's from Prep Test 92. This is from Prep Test 92, Section 2, the first game from Section 2. So I already set up my base and my roster because we have 6 variables that we are going to place in order. And now I'm going to diagram the rules with you. I hope that everybody has like maybe your Prep Plus open in another tab. I have paper in front of me with the game printed out. So if you see me glancing down, it's because I'm reading. Okay, so my first rule is going to be diagrammed like so. And then my second rule, I can actually merge with my first rule, which I like to do because that gives me like a big, larger rule. And then my next rule is going to look like this. So those are my first 3 rules altogether. My last 2 rules are both conditional rules. So the first one looks like this. Anytime that I diagram a conditional rule, I always diagram its contrapositive because the contrapositive is just as powerful as the original conditional. So that is created by reversing and negating. So reverse the 2 conditions and then negate them both. So if L is not fourth, then H isn't first, right? And now for my last rule, it says, and so again, I'm going to create the contrapositive, and the contrapositive is just as powerful. For some reason, I don't like the way that 3 looks. 3, there we go. And the contrapositive can be triggered pretty easily too. Like if J isn't third, then we need to make sure that we fulfill that outcome. We cannot put F in 6. So that's all of our rules. From here, looking at the first one, this is a pretty straightforward one where we are going to just apply the rules to figure out what is one possible correct solution. What I always do is I just kind of pick up one of my rules and I apply it down until I've eliminated something using that rule, and then I move on. So that LKF sequence, let's see, I am gonna like use that to eliminate something. So A is fine, A has obeyed that, we're good. B is not good. B violates my LKF sequence, so I can just go ahead and get rid of that. No. What about the MJ rule? A follows that, A is good, but C violates that rule, so I can take out C. Okay, so what about my if H is on 1 rule? A has H on 1, and then, oh, it violates that. Didn't put L on 4, so I could take out A. And what about my last rule? If F is on 6. So both D and E have F on 6, and then D doesn't follow through fulfilling the outcome. It does not put J on 3. So I can take out D. E is the correct answer choice for this one. So let me bubble in my Scantron. If you guys hear snoring, that was my dog who's next to me right now, sleeping. All right, let's look at number 2. This wants to know what is the smallest number of students that could be to the left of F. I can answer that by looking at my rules. The answer is C, 2. What about number 3? Okay, so 3 gives me like a local condition, and usually when I get a local rule, I should say, it gives me a rule that's just good for this question. When I get that, I will usually diagram it out right there so I can see it, because that helps me to basically visualizing it like that helps me. Well, actually, let me make sure I write it out fully, because if F is before J, this kind of incorporates everything. So, and this is saying if that happens, then where can H not be? Well, correct answer to this one H can't be in 5 if this is true, and here's why. This is the key to that, because we need M and J to be right next to each other. So because of that, I would have to put MJ maybe here. Where would L, K, and F be? They wouldn't be able to smush. It wouldn't work. We wouldn't have room for them. So the fact that M and J need to be exactly next to each other is the key to being able to figure out that H couldn't be in 5. So that is the correct answer to this question. I erase all of that since that didn't really give me any useful previous work. So the correct answer to that is D. All right, what about number 4? 4 is asking me about what is the most students that could be to the left of L. Well, I think I can figure that out just by looking at my rules as I diagram that, because we have L, then K, then F. So, and you should never write on your master diagram, but I'm about to. The furthest to the right that I could put L would be on 4. And then I could put K on 5 and then F on 6. So the most students that I'd be able to put to the left of L would be 3. So C is the answer. Number 5. 5 is just a general must be true. I don't like these. I never like these. I don't like these. I would probably be very likely to move on and see if I could create more work for myself. I don't really have a solution set I'm working with right now. I would be likely to skip this, move on, and see if I could create previous work. If I could create solutions that maybe could help me to eliminate, I would skip this and come back. We're going to skip this and come back. I'm going to flag this. That is a flag. Number 6. Okay, number 6 gives me a local condition. Yeah. So let's create some work here. Okay, so we have something that we need to make it happen, and then we have a must be true. So I'm first looking at my conditionals, and none of them get triggered. It says if H is 1, well, H isn't 1. If L is not 4, I mean, L isn't 4, but our conditionals aren't going to come into play here. They're not going to matter. The only thing we have left to assign all of this, and how could I possibly assign them? I think what I would probably do in this case is to first assign this, because they need to be exactly next to each other. So that block is much more powerful than the sequence. So let's start with the first possible place to assign M and J, and then like zhuzh them around and assign the LKF sequence around them. For instance, first possible place I can possibly assign them is 1 and 2. And then I could put them on 2 and 3. And then I could put them on 5 and 6. So let's see how all of this plays out. Moving back to the top, could I do this? I would do L, K, and F. That's how that sequence would fall at this point. I can see that I do trigger this, that F on 6 now triggers that conditional rule. So now that causes a problem because I can't put J on 3. So now this is not a thing anymore, and that gets crossed off. It's not going to work. So we can forget about that. Moving down to my next option, I'm also going to assign LK and F in the only possible sequence that I can assign them. And again, we are going to trigger my F is on 6, therefore J is on 3, but this time it's worked. It's been, we've obeyed our rule. We've fulfilled our outcome that we're supposed to fulfill. So this is good. We can keep it. We have a possible solution. And now moving down to this one, L, K, and F would be filled in that manner. And I don't think that our conditionals don't matter for this one. So we have two possible solutions for this. So what must be true when H is on 4? Just looking at this, I'm going to assume that the correct answer is that L is on 1. And yeah, that's it. Okay, it's A. Awesome. So let's look at number 7. 7 is asking me which of these can't be number 2. So looking at my previous work, which I'm glad that I have, I know that I can cross off C and D. Wait, no, C and E. Yeah. Is there anything else I can get rid of? Oh, we also have some previous work from number 1, because that option that we chose, we can use for other stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, LMJK. I didn't write it down, and I should have. You should, when you take your exam, make sure you write it on your paper. Oh, well, that's repetitive. That doesn't help. So this is saying which of these things can't be number 2. Let's test D. Okay, so what would happen? What would this mean? If L is on 2, this fulfills a sufficient condition. Specifically, if L is on 2, well, then L is not on 4. If L is not on 4, that means H can't be on 1. Okay, this causes a problem now. Because H can't be on 1, but also that means that was the only thing that could have been on 1. What am I talking about? K also can't be on 1 because K has to have L come before it. Also, F can't be on 1 because F has 2 things come before it. What about M? M can't be on 1 because M needs to have J come after it. J can't be on 1 because then it would push M over the edge. So like literally this won't work. This way of doing things won't work. So that's why D is the correct answer for this one. Okay, this leaves us with just one left that I was trying to avoid. This is just saying which of the following must be false, which of the following can't happen. So the first thing I'm going to do is like look through these and see if maybe I can get rid of anything using my previous work. And I don't think that I can. So let's just test things. Let's see. A gives me, sorry, let me erase something. Let me neaten something up. Okay, let's test out A and just kind of go from there. What does A say? Okay, so that would all be one big block with K before it and then L before it. I don't see why that would be a problem. Could we put L on 1, K on 2, then F, then M, then J, then H? Would that be good? That would work, wouldn't it? Yeah, so that works. So that's not the correct answer. So let's try B. Yeah, I think that this one is the problem because we couldn't, if we did this sequence, we wouldn't be able to put H on 1. That wouldn't work because then L would have to be on 4. So that's not it. So we would have to somehow move H down. Could we put H, L? If we moved H down, how would that work? Because how would we put M and J anywhere? We need that MJ block. Where would we put them? And then also put KF. That's not going to work. Could we try moving HL down again? Well, could we? This won't work either because once F is on 6, then J would have to be on 3. So that's the one that doesn't work. It's B. Okay, I hope this has been helpful to everybody. I'll see everybody in my next video. Bye.